Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. We're back on the dev server and it's time to have a look at some improved kind of X-ray models of some of the ground vehicles. Remember, this is a bunch of changes they're bringing in over the next few updates or maybe even the next few years, and the idea is to try and make these vehicles more realistic when they take damage. This update, they're also changing the hit cam, so you'll get more information about what damage you do to other vehicles. So basically, instead of vehicles just having a bunch of empty space in them, instead they will actually have stuff which is actually there in real life, which is in that space. For example, if you have a look at the Abramses, they actually have this hydraulic pump here, which I'm not entirely sure what it does, but the idea of having these extra modules is when you take them out, it will do bad things to the vehicle, meaning you'll have to repair them and then, go forward. You can see here you've also got the radio station, which is modeled, but just to give you more of what the hydraulic pump looks like, you can see on the Leopard 2A4M, it's right here too. So my guess it's got something to do with either the horizontal drive or the elevator. So if it's knocked out, it will make the turret go slower or you'll have to change to manual. So that is kind of the first change that we see. One of the vehicles that is getting targeted heavily for this stuff is the Puma, and the basic reason probably is because it's quite hard to kill. They're adding in a bunch of little models to the thing. So for example, you have these driver controls. So the driver controls is in front of the driver, and when they get knocked out, you won't be able to move. So if the driver is still alive, or if he gets replaced, if the driver controls are still knocked out, you still won't be able to move. So you have to repair this before you're able to go anywhere. Then also you have this FCS, which is in front of the other two guys, and when this is taken out, you will actually lose your NVDs. So you'll lose the thermals and also the night vision devices that the Puma has until you repair it, which is kind of interesting. Then you have the electronic equipment in the turret. This is for the IRST and the LWR. So the I'm guessing the LWS LR system, which this has access to. Basically, if that gets taken out, you lose your track ARST, which is what you use to track planes in the air, and also you'll lose your laser warning system and laser rangefinder until you repair it. Same with the autoloader here. This autoloader looks really interesting. So if you knock out the autoloader, then you won't be able to load the gun. So instead of just having the ammo blow out, which is what happens in the Puma, and then it quickly reloads it in the 0.3 seconds and then fires again, you will have to repair this autoloader first. So if you shoot the Puma in the front here, you have the opportunity to knock out its laser warning receiver and also laser rangefinder. You have the opportunity to knock out its autoloader, so therefore it can't load the rounds into the gun, and also the gun itself, plus the ammo in the blowout panel, and the other stuff which they may model in later on. So wherever you shoot this thing, it's going to do damage. There's also a power system in the back, and this is for a few vehicles too. This is a battery pack, which when you damage it, and you aren't able to repair it, the FCS will give up, the gun stabilizer will give up, and the radar. So you can see that now with the Puma, there's a lot more of these modules around the place where if you hit them, it will just do pretty big damage to the vehicle. I'm guessing it's going to be very similar to how the radiator works, where if you hit the radiator, there will be like a time limit for these things to kind of work, and then if you repair them, you're back in action, and if not, it will be kind of crazy. Yeah, and also at the same time, if you can see from here, damage to this unit may cause a fire. So you better repair it quickly, otherwise you'll just explode. Now, the Puma has a lot of these things, but another vehicle that has even more of them is the 2S38. And I think the reason for that is, once again, because of the simple fact that a lot of people have struggled killing this thing for good reason. Hold down, it's in a very positive place. So they have completely updated the auto-loading system. So if you somehow miss the ammo, which is stacked on this one side here, you will at least hit the autoloader and it won't be able to reload the gun. So it doesn't seem like so far with these autoloaders you'll be able to manually reload the guns. So whatever happens, you won't be able to fire the gun if this is taken out. And then also the ammunition has moved on the 2S38, so it should be a little bit easier to hit because it isn't just flat and then a single line up top. Instead, it's angled in this setup. But it does mean if this guy is hull down, it's a little bit harder to kill this thing. So that is something to take into account. It also has the electronic equipment, same as the Puma, which does the same thing, has the driver controls and the FCS in the front too, and that battery power system that we talked about previously. So it means that if you hit this thing in the back now, you will hit the battery and also the radiator, but you still have this huge gap in here. But if you graze the autoloader, at least it may stop this thing firing. So that is kind of cool and really nice to see. The next vehicle to have a look at for this is the Warrior, that they've also added a few of these features into. So it looks like they're focusing on more newer vehicles, and then they'll update other vehicles as it comes along. So the FCS is here. It doesn't actually do anything right now, but I'm sure it will be attached to something. You got the driver controls here, and then also you have the power system right on top of the fuel tank. So I'm sure if that sets on fire, the whole thing will go up. Another thing that they're also doing on new vehicles is they're actually creating blocks of ammunition. So previously what you would have is you just have a belt here, but now the ammunition is easier to hit because it's just a general block, unless they define it a bit more, and it'll be, it'll be one of those which will be harder to hit once again. So that's something to at least look at and think about on these newer vehicles. You also have, once again, the radio station, which doesn't seem to do anything just yet. Other vehicles which also got affected, surprisingly, were the Type 89, the Type 81C, my bad, the AA machine. It has a power system, which if gets hit, can cause fire, and also screw the FCS, your stabilizer, and your radar, and also the FCS itself, which is Model 2. So obviously this thing was going a bit nuts. You can also see they have sorted out the driver's console and the wheel in the front, which is really interesting and nice to see too. So that is really cool. And other vehicles that have been affected are things like the Type 90 and the Type 10. They have their autoloader fully modeled now. So if you actually take out the autoloader, so let's say you only have like half the rounds in and you have a gap in them. If you shoot that part, it won't destroy the vehicle because of the blowout panels or you miss the rounds, but you'll hit the autoloader. And that means you'll have to repair it because you won't be able to load your gun. So this is like a direct nerf to stuff like the Type 90, which will have to repair this stuff before fighting once again. This is for the Type 90, and then also since the Type 10 has the same kind of loader system, that is, right here. So that has the same issue, and the Leclerc also has the issue too. In all of them, because it also has an autoloader at the back. So there will be more of these as it goes along. As they talked about in the devlog for these things, they are going to add them incrementally to different vehicles, but this seems to be the first batch, which is going to make a big difference to a lot of these things. So it might be a bit piecemeal here and there, where certain vehicles get more than others, and that may feel unfair, but eventually, just like volumetric armor and volumetric shells, it will come to everything in a big way. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.
I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.